We are back once again. It is tournament time, baby. Goodfellas, March Madness. It's your boy Dougie, 5, A Will. What you got in that cup, young man?
Juice, cranberry juice.
Okay.
You better clean your
5,
system
how you
out.
feeling?
Not cranberry juice cup ready.
Yeah, okay. What you got in that cup?
It's a little makers.
Oh, Makers, you still celebrating St. Patrick's Day, huh?
Yeah. Tar Heel Cheers.
Oh,
Cheers.
yeah. It's tournament time. You look real distinguished today.
Ceiling is the roof.
Yeah. Distinguished, man.
That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Ceiling is the roof.
Remember Wayne in the 6'7" video when he had on the glasses?
Yeah,
That's what he look like right now.
that wasn't the look I was looking for.
Well, that's what you got.
That's cool.
That's what you got.
Works for me.
Alright, so let's get straight to it. Brackets. Number one, Goodfellas has a bracket, and y'all need to go ahead and fill it out. Alright? It's free.
We have a bracket challenge.
Bracket challenge.
There you go.
Whoever wants to come in second place. Okay? Because ain't none of us beating us.
It's on the ESPN app.
Alright? On the ESPN app, we posted the link already. We will be posting it up until lock time. So make sure y'all go ahead and check that out. But we gonna get into our picks. Okay? Who would like to go first?
I think you should pick the guy who only filled out one.
Let's go. Let's go.
avenue of his only bracket.
Yeah, let's tell us about this bracket. It's interesting.
How many upsets you got on that bracket?
Yeah.
On this bracket
Yeah, it is.
that I wrote down,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
none. But in my actual bracket, I have a couple. I actually got Liberty beating Mississippi State in the 12-5. I got Murray State beating Marquette. I got Ja Morant beating Marquette in the first round. I also am torn between Oregon and Wisconsin. I think that'll be a slow paced game. I think Oregon has a quality big man, and they do have a nice point guard. I actually watched Oregon upset Washington in the Pac-12 championship game.
All right.
Great game, actually.
Another upset that I did have was, let me find it.
Duke.
Well, Duke is winning it all, so that's not an upset. I actually am torn between Florida and Nevada. I'm torn between that matchup right now. So those are two of my upsets and two that I'm torn on right now at this moment.
Okay. 5. You go ahead.
Who do I have winning it all? Well, let me start with my upsets.
Those are upsets.
Start with my upsets first. One of the upsets, I got New Mexico State beating Auburn. That's my 5-12.
Okay.
And I wasn't torn between Oregon and Wisconsin. I chose Oregon.
Okay.
I mean, I got an 8-9 upset with Oklahoma being Ole Miss, but that's not really an upset.
Right.
I kind of really don't have any more like huge upsets. At least not in the first round.
Okay.
So my sleeper team is going to come out of the East bracket, and I am picking LSU to actually come out of the bracket. So I have them beating Michigan State, and I have them beating Duke.
Ooh.
That is my sleeper team.
Oh.
Real physical team. They can match the physicality of Duke. You can laugh all you want to, but when it happens, it will happen.
They couldn't even be Auburn. Cut it out.
Hey,
Cut it out.
When it
They
happens-
couldn't even be Auburn. Cut it out.
When it happens, you will see. You will be surprised. So that's my sleeper. That's my sleeper team. I got LSU coming out of that bracket. I do not believe Murray State is going to beat Marquette, and I actually have Marquette coming out of that bracket. I think the West bracket is the weakest bracket, and I think it's the most wide open bracket. I like Gonzaga. I like Marquette. I am not a Michigan believer. I know Michigan always seems to kind of give
Michigan
their
State?
No, Michigan.
Oh, Michigan. Okay.
University of Michigan. I know they always seem to kind of get there year in, year out. I think this is the year that they don't get there. So, the left side of my bracket, it looks quirky. It's not gonna look like a normal bracket, but I got LSU and Marquette coming out of the East and the West.
That's gonna be a lot of red in your bracket. I'm just saying it right now. It's just gonna be a lot of red.
All right.
And look,
Well, I mean, he filled it out in red, so.
it's gonna be a lot of red in that bracket. Okay.
All right.
After round 2, just stop looking.
And then in the South, I have Virginia and I got UNC.
Just stop looking.
Okay.
Just stop looking.
So,
Just,
that's interesting. That's
just
interesting.
stop looking.
That's
Your bracket gonna
Who
be.
you got on the right side? You get the same. You look like you got a couple.
Ooh.
Like your right side of bracket look like mine.
So I'm
The
gonna
left side of bracket. Start with your left side.
Yeah, I'm gonna start with the left. Upsets I got Murray State beating Marquette. I got Vermont beating Florida State. 13, no upset of 4. Something's gotta happen, right? Somebody's gotta look good with one of these upsets.
I don't think that's the one.
Yeah, you don't never know till it is.
I don't think that's. The one.
And then on the right side, I got New Mexico State beating Auburn, and I got Kansas State getting upset. So I got 2
UC
13s going to the next round.
Okay.
You got UC Irvine coming all the way to the South, beating Kansas State.
Yes.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yes. Then after that, in the let's go to the East bracket, man. The East bracket, I got Duke losing to Michigan State. I want to let you know that. I want to let you know that. I got Duke beating Michigan State. I mean, losing to Michigan State.
What,
And you know why they're gonna
what's
lose?
change?
What not?
What's gonna change?
R.J. Barrett.
Duke has already beat Michigan State this year. So what's gonna change?
I mean, that's
What's gonna
that
change?
means nothing.
What's gonna change?
Come on, you know that means nothing. Because
now
they beat them early in the year don't mean they can beat them now.
What's gonna change?
This is a tournament. This is a one-game tournament.
Oh, yeah, I mean, they played a one-game game.
That's like saying that
They played one game. They don't play
Regular
the same
season
time.
no longer matters.
Oh, okay. All right.
no, absolutely not.
No longer matters. Okay, I've seen plenty of teams win in the regular season and get their butts kicked in the playoffs.
I mean, Arizona is
We
the
talking about that.
prime example. They lost in the first round last year.
Yep.
They dominated all season long. They dominated in the Pac-12 tournament and lost in the first round. It means nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
We're talking about the Pac-12 versus the ACC and the Big Ten.
It means nothing. Who did they lose to last year?
Who, Arizona?
Who did Arizona lose to last year?
Some bumps.
Who did they lose to last year?
We're comparing the Pac-12 to the ACC and the Big Ten. I just want y'all to know that. Name me the last time the Pac-12 was relatively good. Relatively good.
Arizona was really good last year.
I'm talking about the entire conference. I'm not talking about one team. I'm talking. Even if you just look at the
What
top
does that
5
mean
teams.
though? What does that mean though, Will?
If you have no like, who's Arizona's toughest competition in their conference?
I don't know, but I was glad when they beat Duke with Derek Williams.
And how many years ago was that? That was 8 years
I don't
ago.
even think Derek Williams in the league no more.
8 years ago.
But they were a Pac-12 team then too.
And the Pac-12 was probably much better 8 years ago than it was this year.
Well,
The winner of the Pac-12 this year was Washington. You know how bad Washington was last year, even 2 years ago?
any team can be.
You know how bad? Do you know how
Anytime.
bad Washington was last year or 2 years ago?
If you haven't learned anything from watching college basketball in March, any team can be beat.
I
On any
understand
night.
that, but we're talking.
You can't go on the past and the competition.
going on
and
the past. I'm not going on the past. I'm
you
looking at
can't
the
go on.
competition
You can't
in
go
the
on the
league.
last 20, 25 games and say, oh, they've played better competition. No, throw it all out the window.
Anything.
Throw it all out the window. Like, it's all about matchups. It's all about preparation, and it's all about what team can get it done on that specific day. Like, it means nothing. Like, throw all of that out the window. Like, just throw it out the window.
Pac-12.
That's just me though.
Y'all got the best player, but are they gonna give him the ball when they need to? The most.
And he's not going to shoot 80% from the field every game. Like, you're going to have a game where he's not going to shoot the ball well. He's going to be around between 40 and 50%. Can you win that game? That's what it's going to come down
We
to.
can't predict foul trouble.
That's what it's going to come down to do. He's going to have a game where he doesn't shoot the ball well. Can you still win that game?
R.J. Barrett.
It's going to come down to that. Like, it really is. Like, you can't shoot 100%, 80% from the field every single game. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
So
And you got to have to rely on others to win that game.
yeah, I got Michigan State coming out the East bracket. I got the Zags coming out the West bracket. I have Virginia coming out the South, and I have the Tar Heels coming out of the Midwest.
All right, hold on. So so they were talking about Gonzaga a little bit on Sunday. Actually, a lot of it on Sunday. They say Gonzaga got a number 1 seed because of their history, not because of the season that they had. And they seem to get a number 1 seed all the time. And when they get that number 1 seed, they never go too far. How can you have confidence in Gonzaga coming out of that bracket? Is that bracket that bad? Is the west side of that bracket that bad where Gonzaga really shines? Or can there be a hiccup somewhere in that bracket? Because if I'm not mistaken, Michigan State was supposed to be in that west bracket.
I don't got confidence in nobody in this bracket, so I'm just gonna go with the
So the West is that bad? That's what you're trying to say?
Oh, so yeah, I don't got confidence in nobody in that bracket.
It's wide open. I think it's wide open too. I just want to see what everybody else thinks.
Yeah, that's yeah.
So you're not confident because I coming out of that bracket?
Yeah, I wouldn't have filled it out. They're coming out.
What do you mean you wouldn't have feel?
I wouldn't have picked them if I wasn't confident. These
What about
picks
you?
were made with the utmost confidence.
What about you, A. Will? Since you only filled out the east side of the bracket on purpose, who do you have coming out the West in your other bracket?
Michigan. I got Michigan beating Gonzaga.
Okay. I ain't mad at that.
I can respect it.
2 veteran teams, 2 teams that actually play a ball control offense, 2 teams that actually kind of hang their hats on defense. I think Michigan, every year in the tournament, Michigan always goes on a run. And I think Michigan has enough veteran, like Michigan was just in the national championship game last year, and I think they only lost Mo Wagner, and I think one other player. So I think experience will carry them to beating Gonzaga. I don't think they'll blow the Zags out. I think it will come down to maybe the last 4 or 5 possessions of the game. But I think Michigan will pull it out just from experience alone. So I have actually Michigan coming out of the West.
I got Marquette just because they have the best player on the entire side of the bracket. Marcus Howard is the player that nobody is talking about. He is dynamite. He can have that Dwayne Wade type run for them. I'm not saying he's Dwayne Wade, so don't quote me on that. But he can have that type of impact, that Shabazz Napier, that Kimball Walker, that type of run to kind of lift them over some teams. So that's why I chose Marquette.
All right. Hey, who you got coming out your South bracket?
Hold on. Real quick. I want to touch on that game, though. That Murray State Marquette game, if you don't watch one first round game, watch that one. Watch that one. That game is going to be really good. I know I got Marquette winning the game, but Murray State's going to have a more than a likely shot of pulling that upset off. So watch that game if you don't watch one game. Go ahead, Edwin.
In the South, I
South.
got Tennessee.
Tennessee. Okay. Midwest. Down here. Midwest. Midwest. Who you got? Who you got? And actually, now that I'm looking at this,
I have John Calipari and the University of Kentucky Wildcats.
This is the man who hates John Calipari.
I do hate John Calipari.
So I know you're not confident in that.
Oh, I'm definitely confident in it. I
know
told you the
you're
other
not
day,
that big.
Kentucky got 3 big men. 3. They're guard player suspect, but they have 3 big men that are solid.
it's a guard tournament, ain't it?
It can be, but it also can be a big man tournament as well.
Oh, matchups.
And I think Kentucky has 3 solid big men. They got 2 today starting. They got 1 to come off the bench. That's fine in itself. And I think they will play North Carolina in the Elite Eight. And I think that's where North Carolina will lose because of those big men. Reed Travis, P.J. Washington, and the other guy, Montgomery. They can give you some fits. And if North Carolina get into foul trouble, they don't got enough big men. They don't have enough. They do not have enough.
I actually got Kentucky losing to Houston.
In the Sweet 16?
Yeah.
I
got
actually,
Houston in
I
the
actually have Houston losing the first round.
Ooh, to Georgia State?
Yeah. That's my 14-3 upset.
Somebody's got to get upset, man. It's got to happen. Out of all of the top, let's see. Well, you just gave yours. What other top teams, like, looking at this bracket, should people be worried about?
I got Gonzaga losing in the Sweet 16.
To Marquette?
Yep.
What about you, Leo?
You said top seed?
What top seeds, like,
1 or 2s.
yeah, not even like in the first round.
Should be word.
Yeah. Like first round. Like even though we didn't pick them, but like, you know, like if you could see like a 3 or a 2 seed, like, you know, getting a scare.
A 3 or a 2 seed?
Yeah. What team would that be?
Mine would actually be Michigan, actually. Playing out west. Montana is from the west. Their crowd's gonna be there. Like you have to take that in consideration too of where the team's playing.
Yeah.
Because certain teams are not gonna travel as well as others.
You right.
So if a lesser team plays a little bit closer to the crib and they're able to get their fans there and get their people there, like it can be kind of a turnover type deal. That's why it was kind of tough for me to pick Oregon, because them being from the Northwest and traveling all the way down to the South. But I mean, I don't know if Wisconsin's gonna travel that well either. So I mean, even though Wisconsin fans travel, they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. But yeah, Michigan probably would be mine right now.
Mine would be LSU. I'm not sold on LSU at all. I'm not sold on LSU at all.
I'm gonna have to go right with you on that LSU.
I'm not sold on LSU.
I ain't
at
gonna
all.
lie to you.
I watched LSU versus Tennessee a little earlier this year, and they are physical. Yale plays a different style of basketball, so I can see where y'all coming from on that. And they playing in the East, so the Yale people will be there. They will travel really well, but I can see where y'all come from on that. I'm not mad at that. I'm a basketball fan. I can admit to it.
So, like looking at this, we've all filled out our brackets. We all got who we got winning. My next question is going to be: in these tournaments, does the best team in the country always win a national championship?
The best team, as in cast of players, no. But the team with a better coach, yes.
No, I just think it's about chemistry. Chemistry, leadership, experience. I mean, you rarely see young teams win. I mean, besides the Kentucky team with Anthony Davis, the Duke team with Ja, they were pretty young, but they were playing a young team too.
No, Wisconsin was deep.
Yeah, they played Kentucky. They played Kentucky the game before that.
Who, Wisconsin?
No, yeah, Wisconsin did.
Wisconsin beat Kentucky.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I don't think it's about. I mean, like Jay Wright won a national championship. I don't think he's like a great coach. Like
at Villanova?
Yeah, I don't feel like he's like a great coach. Wow. I don't feel like he's a great coach. Like a great coach, like a national championship winning coach. Like no.
He won 2 and 3 years, and he's not a.
Yeah, I really don't think so. I mean, I really don't think so. He's had some really good guards too.
Didn't they play in 3 national championships?
That's just me.
I don't think you get that by luck, 3 in a row.
That's just me.
I don't believe the best team always wins.
I mean, obviously not. I mean, there's teams that talented teams that lose in the second round.
Yeah, I just think who's ever playing on the best, better on that day. That's why they say survive in advance. That's why you should be nervous every single game your team plays. If you're rooting for somebody, I don't care if you're a 1 seed. Like, you should be nervous every time like you watch your team play. Like, anything can happen.
I mean, you can shoot 60% from the field one game and then just come back and shoot 33%
Like,
the next game. Like,
yeah.
it can happen. Like, I mean, shots might not fall, legs might get tired. I mean, you just never know. Guys can get hurt. Like, you just never know. Like, that's why they call it March Madness. Like, it is pure madness, and it never fails.
So,
I think sometimes coaches get too cute in March Madness, to be honest. They start to go away from what they know. Like, I always say, the only reason Kentucky lost to Wisconsin that year is because Cal did not take advantage of Karl Anthony Towns in the post. I always say that. Like, that was the year. If there was one year that we would have seen somebody go undefeated, that was the year. Like, Karl Anthony Towns was the mismatch on the offensive end for Kentucky. But then Wisconsin also knew he was the mismatch on the defensive end for Kentucky. And so that's why I say a lot of times it just comes down to the better coach that day. Like, not necessarily the best coach overall, but the better coach that day. Like, I understand your strengths, I know your weaknesses. If I'm going to attack your weakness, like, that to me is what Wisconsin's coach did against Kentucky that day. He attacked their weakness. He put Karl Anthony Towns in a pick and roll situation and made him decide whether he was going to guard the roll man or he was going to step out and guard Frank Kaminsky. And Kaminsky was hitting threes. He was hitting threes all tournament long. He was hitting threes all year long. And so they took advantage of that. Kaminsky was able to beat people off the dribble as slow as he moves, but he was able to do it. And he did it against one of the best in college at that time. But when you turn to the flip side, Cal rarely went to Cat in the post. And I think that was his mismatch. If you look at, North Carolina versus, who they played last year? Mississippi State?
Sweet 16.
When they lost, Mississippi State just took advantage of their big man. They just pounded. They got out, they rebound, and they got on the rim. And when they was in a half-court set, they just fed their big man. They made North Carolina guard. They knew North Carolina didn't have enough big men to deal with.
I was trying to forget about that.
I'm just gonna give you facts.
I mean, kind of echoing off what he just said, basically, what he's saying is that these teams have the leadership, they have the veterans to be able to stick to their identity and believe in it. Like, that is a reason why Michigan gets where they get every single year. They have an identity. They normally have the veteran guys who believe in it, game in and game out, whether they win or they lose, and they're going to stick to that identity. And you can't, like you said, you can't get too cute around this time of the year. Like, you got to stick to what you know, what's been working for you, and you can't go away from that type of stuff. And that's why we see the same teams in the Elite Eights, in the Sweet 16s. I mean, it's the reason why Michigan State always gets to the Sweet 16. I mean, it's a reason. And Izzo pounds it into his player heads from day one. And they get it, and when it comes tournament time, they believe in it, and they execute it. I mean, it's a reason why they succeed, no matter their seed, too. I mean, they can be, they one time, I think they made it an 11 seed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that just shows you the type of trust that they have in their identity.
I can't wait to see all of the missed free throws that are going to occur within the next few weeks with the game on the line. Because it's going to lead to so many memorable buzzer beaters. Okay, you're going to have a team either 1-1 at the line, up 2, and he's going to clank that first free throw, and they're going to grab that rebound, and they're going to come down, and they're going to hit a 3 off the glass from half court.
Man.
You hear me?
All right, so I played college basketball, and I will say this: they need to get rid of the 1-on-1.
What?
They literally need to get rid of the 1-on-1.
No.
Like,
No, I want to hear this.
like if my team gets into the bonus, like I should need 3 extra team fouls to get 2 free throws. Like, that's the whole point to me of getting into the bonus. Listen, and if 7 is too little, they need to just push it out to like 8 or 9. Or if it's gonna be 10, it's gonna be 10. Like you need to push it out. 7 and the 1-on-1 bonus is ridiculous. It has always been ridiculous to me. I mean, cause it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Like, can you imagine if we had if college teams did the Hacker Shack? Can you imagine that? Like, you could do that. Like, if you had a bad free throw shooter on your team,
Yeah.
like, and you had 16 fouls, you could just foul that dude 4 times. You could foul him 4 times, and if he misses the front end, like, it is what it is. Like,
I think the reason college has that is because they don't have, the only way you can change the bonus from a 1-on-1 to 2 shots is you have to play 4 quarters. They play 20-minute halves. Like you have to break it, like you have to
Be different.
some way, somehow. Like, you gotta be different some way, somehow.
so girls are already playing 4 quarters.
Yeah.
Boys will be playing 4 quarters soon.
But,
It
so,
will be-
I don't, when the girls get in the bonus, they shoot 2 free throws, right? They don't have a 1-on-1.
I would have to look the rule up. I'm fine with that.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if for men's college basketball to get rid of the 1-on-1, they would have to go to 4 quarters.
They're going 4 quarters. I know it's happening.
I
happening
think it
soon.
should have been happening, but
It's happening soon. But yeah, the whole 1-on-1 thing is stupid. It's stupid. It's to make drama. It's to create drama. It really is.
Good. Keep it.
It really is to create
Keep it.
drama. I mean, everybody.
You gotta keep it in.
I mean, y'all love drama. I think it's BS on the player side of it.
Hell, you missed
I mean,
that first one. I ain't trying to see you hit the backboard and clank the second one.
I mean, I could just literally, I can see somebody doing the whole Greg Pop thing very soon. Like, you're gonna have a bad free throw shooter on the team. He's gonna shoot like 55% from the field, and somebody's gonna hack.
But it's
And
so
somebody's
in
gonna
college
you know,
though. It's so
yeah.
many bad shoot like guards, big men. Like they all really shoot bad.
I
And
mean,
see,
you
the
say
thing-
that, but
the-
college. I mean, in college, it's not like NBA. Like, if you shoot over 70%, you're a decent free throw shooter. Like,
I mean, think about it. Even if so, to me, this is how I look at it. In the NBA, when they go to the Hacker Shack, like, you rarely find coaches that stick with that, right? To where they'll foul this player until the coach pulls them out.
said the Greg Pop,
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, Greg Pop will do it.
and all the people who were under him do it too.
But Doc Rivers might do it. But like a couple of people might foul a person, stop a possession, and then let's say like they foul a worse shooter and they come and they hit both free throws. They might go away from it the next possession, like, it didn't work, whatever. Like in college, I feel like if the person hits the first one and misses the second one, what is the coach gonna think about it? They might think about it, they might not. They might do it, they might not. Like my thing is, and I've said this 100 times, I don't understand. Like if I'm a college team, like legit, and I'm up, let's say I'm up 2, and I'm at the line for a 1-on-1, and my guy misses the first one, and we're close to being in the bonus, or we're in the bonus, I'm fouling. Like as soon as they grab the rebound, I'm not giving you the opportunity to go to shoot a 3. I'm sending you to the line to either hit both of these free throws, or you got to hit one and purposely miss one to try to grab a rebound. Like I'm not giving you the opportunity to shoot a 3-point.
So even what?
So that you give it like.
Well, I get it because you can lose on the 3, but I mean at that point it's just playing the percentage.
I don't think.
Yeah, but think about it. Think about it. In college, how often is it that a guard is close enough to grab that rebound on a missed 1-on-1?
I mean,
So you're looking at percentages, right? So let's say like 30% of the time a guard grabs a rebound, right? So the other 70% of the time it's either a big man or it's a small forward. 9 times out of 10 in college, they're shooting about 65, 70, 75%. I'm living with the averages. Like, I'm gonna foul this big man. You gotta go to the other side,
Yeah.
hit these 2 free throws.
I get what you're saying,
Yeah, but
but
then you say that, but they're shooting 35, 40% from the three, like, or
I don't-
probably 30% from the
Yeah,
three.
but I'm to Ray's point. They bank that 3.
hey,
And man,
I
that's
ain't gonna lie to
something.
you. College, they not that aware to be doing that.
But
Like it's sad.
that's what I
You know what I'm
would.
saying? Because we gonna see some of the most bonehead plays.
Oh, absolutely.
They just not that aware like that. The awareness is not gonna be there to be like, oh, let's foul. It's just not gonna be there. They gonna be in the moment. Game about to be on the line. Like we about to
But
like.
does that go to coaching? Like, as my team, as a coach, you get fouled, you go to the line for a 1-on-1. You can tell somebody on the court, hey, he missed this, we fouled. And that message goes around. That message is supposed to get passed for that man goes to, right? What we see in college. After every foul, every team come together, they huddle up, they talk for a little minute, boom, right? Coach, send that signal, foul. They go in the huddle, hey, foul him. We miss it, foul him.
We'll see. I don't think the coaches think like that.
That's what I agree, but if I was a coach, that's what I would do. If I'm up 2 and we're going to the line for a 1-on-1, and I'm going to say, if he misses this first front end, foul. I'm not giving you an opportunity to shoot a 3.
Nah, we've been practicing defense all year. Like, we should be able to get a stop.
And there's so much madness going on. If you foul, man.
Think of this. When Villanova won the national championship game, when Buddy came, he had a little rub screen. He shot that 3.
Trailer.
He shot the 3. That was from. Was that from out of bounds play, or was that off a missed free throw?
What are you talking about? When Villanova beat Carolina?
Yeah.
No, it was a
No,
made
it was
basket.
it was a made basket.
Made
Inbound.
basket. Inbound. He was the inbounder.
So
You keep
Then-
bringing up these Tar Heel memories, and we
That's
don't.
fine. I mean, it's fine. No, it actually, I get what you're.
But I
Keep
think
going. Keep going.
what, as if Roy Williams could do that over, do you think he would foul a guy?
No,
No.
absolutely not.
No.
I think he will pay attention to the inbounder.
No.
I don't think he would follow.
No.
They let him walk all the way up the court, but they didn't even pick him up.
I mean, they didn't.
The trailer hurt him. The trailer hurt
I
him.
mean, they didn't necessarily let him walk. I mean,
Nobody picked him up.
Yeah.
Who, the
because-
trailer?
Yeah.
The inbounder.
I mean, he's trailing like 7 feet behind the play. Do you want the guy to run all the way up and not help on the drive? Like,
I mean, just meet him at like half court. Something you can't.
tough. I mean, the guy's coming at you full speed.
Yeah, he wasn't coming full speed.
He wasn't.
He was not
slow.
coming
He-
full speed.
He was slow playing that.
The dribbler.
Oh, the
No,
dribbler.
oh,
He
the
was
dribbler,
talking
yeah.
The dribbler.
But he
Yeah,
was
no, I'm
waiting.
talking about the trailer.
He was waiting on the trailer.
But that's what I'm telling you. Like, the dribbler's coming up full speed. You talk to stop the ball.
Yeah.
So he gangs up in the hole to stop the ball. The guy's trailing. He tosses it back to him. He was a couple feet back from off the line. He wasn't like on the line. Like, he was a couple feet off the line. But I mean, I get what you all are saying. But no, I wouldn't fall.
No,
I
But
wouldn't
think
foul.
about it. In the NBA, they say that all the time. Like, I'm not giving a person the opportunity to shoot a 3.
Yeah, but that's when you up 3 though.
Yeah.
Like not
Not
up 2.
Up
Not
2.
Up 2. Like no. Like No.
I'm not, man.
2 free throws is easier to hit than a fadeaway bucket. I mean, you could get anything out of that. You could force anything out of that. Like a guy could shoot a 18-foot fadeaway. He could shoot a 25-foot contested 3. Like you just never know what's gonna go. And to give a guy 2 free throws, he can. Especially if you don't know if he's a senior, you don't know if he's a junior. Like I can't do that. I can't do that. No.
Then the drama on the free throws. Like, what if he make one, miss one, and your
Oh,
team
then you
don't
get a
box
tip
out?
in, you know,
you
you
get a
get
tip
a tip.
in.
Oh, man.
Oh,
No.
Jesus. You
And
open a
that's
whole other can of
and that's the
worms.
easiest time to get an offensive rebound because everybody's crashing. Everybody's crashing. So I can't do that. No.
Oh man, that's
And as much as we talk about bad free throw shooting, like that's the easiest shot to make with the game on the line.
What, a free throw?
Yeah, I mean it's the easiest shot to make with the game on the line. I mean, whether y'all believe it or not, I mean, you standing there by yourself on the free throw line, no hand in your face, nobody running at you. You can shoot it at your own pace. You get 10 seconds to shoot it. Like that's the easiest shot you can get with the game
make
on the line.
the damn free throw.
You should make the free throw. But
I'm gonna
I
get a
mean,
shirt that say that.
But
Make the free throw. That's what it's gonna say. Make the free throw. That's exactly what it's gonna say. So we about to see some bricks.
Yeah, we gonna see some
We're about to see some bricks. So let's keep it going. Let's talk about like who would y'all say? Well, you already said who the best player.
Marcus Howard will be dynamite in this March Madness.
Well, who do you think is going to be the most surprising player?
I think Marcus Howard. You know, everybody's talking about him. He's going to be a top 10 pick in the draft. Like, he should be getting more love than what he's getting right now. But, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, he goes to Marquette. I mean, he doesn't just get the shine that he needs.
All right, hey, Will.
The most surprising player?
Yeah. Who do you think is going to make a name for themselves in this tournament?
I'm going to go with the guy in Kentucky, P.J. Washington.
All right. Why you think so?
Because I think I think he's going to dominate in the Midwest.
I ain't mad at that.
Yeah.
The person I'm going to choose damn near costing us a game against Duke. Okay? Kobe White. All right? I'm going with Kobe White because he got game. Kid got game. And, man, these type of tournaments have been known to have been, dominated by guard play.
His shot selection got to get better.
Hey, you are 1,000% correct.
I think his shot selection was not that bad last game.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
No.
It wasn't. I've seen it worse.
I think he takes from the games I've seen Kobe play, which have only been when they played Duke.
The first time we played, dude, it was god-awful.
But I think he takes a lot of bad, like, when I say bad shots, they're not within the rhythm or the flow of the game. Like, he has the ball in his hand, and sometimes he'll dominate the ball, and then he'll just settle for a three. Like, he can get to the basket. Like, Kobe is fast enough, he can get to the basket at any point in time. Like, make, miss, anything. Like, you'll see a team score a basket. He'll get the ball and be at North Carolina's basket, laying it up. And I think, like, being that fast and able to get to the basket at will whenever you want to, a lot of times you don't have to settle for the shot. But I've also seen Kobe get the ball, push the ball up court just to settle for a three. Like, for him to dominate, I see what you're saying, but for him to dominate, for me, his shot selection has to be much better. He can't take bad three-pointers at bad points in the game.
He also don't get any calls either.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
to be honest with you, he's all the games I should have seen, he should have been at the line 7, 8 times. He hasn't been to the line nearly as bad when he gets to the rim. So I understand why he can settle for a lot of those jump shots when you're not getting calls. It can get frustrating. He's young, so that's why he doesn't get a lot of the calls. I mean, you can say what you want to say, but refs know who's a senior, who's a junior, and who's a freshman on the floor, and they know who they're gonna get the calls to. I mean, it's just point blank period. I don't care what anybody says. That's how it is. I know for a fact that's how it is. So,
Yeah. Kobe White. He gonna make it right. All right.
so is he one and done?
No, I don't think so.
If he has an outstanding
Right.
tournament,
Yeah.
he could be gone. He can be gone.
We get Cole Anthony. He'll be gone. We get Cole Anthony. Cole Anthony. Say something.
We're gonna be right back in the Final Four.
Man,
North Carolina's not getting Kobe.
who getting him?
Somebody out east.
Come on, man. You tripping. I got an inside scoop.
Okay.
Inside scoop.
Okay.
All right, man. You know what? You've been throwing a lot of shade.
I'm just being
You know what?
honest, man.
We gonna keep it moving.
North
man.
Carolina doesn't get any big name players anymore. Sorry. What's the last big name player y'all got?
Define big name.
What's the last one and done prospect North Carolina?
North Carolina, we not paying these players, man.
But that's what I'm saying. So you asked me what's big name. I'm saying one and done. Like, what's the last true one and done prospect that North Carolina's had?
True one and done prospect.
Yeah, like came 1 year and left, balled out and left.
No, our guys need to stay.
That's what I'm saying.
That's cool though.
I'm not mad at it. It works. Like North Carolina, it works. But I feel like North Carolina always gets a guy like Tyler Hansbrough. He wasn't really talked about. Stayed for years. He made a name for himself. Like Luke May. stayed 4 years, made a name for itself. Like, I mean, I don't even know. I can't even name you a player that's got drafted from North Carolina in the last 5 years.
Come on, man.
I'm being real.
Bullock is on the Lakers, bro.
Oh shit!
Come on, man. You wildin' now. You wildin'. What's in that cup?
I'm just saying.
What's
Come
with the
on.
cranberry?
Okay, Bullock. Who else in the last 5 years he got drafted from North Carolina?
What you mean? Who else has got drafted in the last 5 years?
Tell me a player from North Carolina.
Henson is playing with the Nets right now.
Who? Theo?
Yes.
Pinson.
Yes. He's playing with the Nets.
National championship.
Theo?
Yes.
National championship, Theo Pinson.
Say that.
That's like me saying Quinn Cook is playing for the Golden State Warriors.
He is.
I mean,
He playing for him.
I mean,
You said who got drafted. You said you couldn't.
He get more ticks than most of y'all one and dones.
Yeah, he definitely do.
Besides Tatum and Ingram.
Marvin Bagley is getting ticked. He's one and done.
He getting ticked.
Eric Giles gets
He
ticked.
don't even start on the team though.
He was one and done. Don't matter. I mean, getting ticked.
He
One
getting
and
right
done.
on the same amount as Quinn Cook.
Harry Giles definitely getting the same amount of tick as Quinn
I
Cook.
mean, he was one and done. Y'all want to keep going? Y'all want to keep Brandon Ingram?
I mean, Quinn
One
Cook
done.
might be one of y'all only NBA championship Duke players. Shane Battier.
Yeah, please be respectful.
Oh, that's it.
Please be
Who
respectful.
else
Two?
I got?
I gotta think.
Jesus.
I gotta think.
Yeah, how many Hall of Famers y'all got?
Grant Hill.
Whew. That's it.
Nah, it's got more than that.
No, it's just Grant Hill.
Said on purpose.
Sounds sad.
Well, we can, speaking on like, NCAA, March Madness, what's y'all most memorable moment of the tournament? Like, since y'all been watching.
Mine is the UConn Huskies with Kemba Walker and Shabazz Napier.
Okay.
Both of them pulling that run. Like, man, coming out of nowhere.
Step back, Kimba was born. I
And
know that.
Kemba did it from the Big East tournament all the way through.
Yeah.
Like that was crazy to me. Like Kemba he was hitting game winner after game winner, a big shot after big shot. Like Kemba was listen, if he wasn't in the lottery before that Big East tournament, he put himself in the lottery and he solidified it in the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Like that to me was my most memorable moment that I could remember. Yeah.
5. What you got?
Man, there's so many, man. Man, I might have to just go like recently, man. That Loyola run was crazy, man. Like that Loyola run,
Oh yeah.
Ramblers.
like Loyola Rambler, like that run was crazy. Like they had Chicago on fire.
They did.
I worked downtown during that time. Dude, they had the city on fire. Loyola, like, and you would never, like, think of it like Loyola. And I'm also going to pick Loyola because I had them in Sweet 16, so y'all showed me some love on my brackets. So I had them in Sweet 16, but, man, I never thought they would get that far.
They was killing, man.
Like, the George Mason run was big, too. Like, I like underdogs. I like seeing underdogs make it. Like, the George Mason run was big. Who else had another one? Florida Gulf Coast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Gulf
they
Coast.
run was crazy. Like, and they was balling too. Like, so I'm all about the underdogs. I like seeing the underdogs get as far as they can. Of course, the Butler runs. Like, they made it all national championship twice.
Yeah.
Like out of nowhere. Well, at least 1 year was out of nowhere. Second year, everybody kind of was like, they might have a chance to do it again. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm all for the underdogs, man. I love seeing underdogs make it far. So.
Okay. For me, I'm gonna have to say Melo. Ron Melo went on, freshman, Syracuse.
That wasn't even a run, it was just domination.
The domination, like, but one of the most memorable games came in 05 with Arizona and U of I.
Yeah.
Okay?
Taking it back.
That comeback.
That comeback was
Salim
nasty.
Stoudemire,
What?
Ooh.
Deron Williams, Luther Head,
Hassan Adams.
D Brown.
Yeah.
Oh, bro. That was one of the greatest college games I've ever seen.
That was
And
a
then
crazy
you and I
game.
followed it up with the Louisville game.
Dude,
Yeah.
That was even like just as good. Like,
all good things come to an end though.
man, who won that national championship?
05, I can't even remember, bro.
Did y'all have anybody drafted on that?
Oh, man.
Man, yeah.
Yeah, McCants.
Oh, yeah.
They got drafted too.
They got drafted.
What?
Felton got drafted.
Felton
too.
got drafted.
Still in the league.
Still in the league.
He only one left.
Still in the league.
Yeah.
We got McCann in the big three.
Yeah.
McKenzie to who?
Big three. Big three champion too.
Yeah.
Shot McCann.
Sean McCants.
But yeah. Who won that? Who won that national championship again?
Tar Heels. Tar Heel.
Yeah.
Tar Heel.
That was probably the last.
Marvin Williams was on that team too, wasn't
And that was y'all last one and done player.
6 man on that team.
he? He's a 6 man.
Marvin Williams was your last one and done player.
Hey man, guys like the culture in North Carolina, man.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah, man. The culture, man. You know.
Okay.
Kyrie went to Duke, he ain't go to Duke.
We just had homeboy from a couple years ago one and done.
Who?
What was it? Taylor? Big man?
Oh.
Play for the Jazz now.
Our guys now, I ain't
He
gonna lie.
He should stay.
All our guys
He
need
should
to
stay. I
need to
don't know
stay.
why he left.
Who?
I don't know why he left. I'll tell you. Hold on.
All our guys need to stay.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Cole, we get Cole Anthony though.
Y'all not getting Cole Anthony.
He might
You
go
just
one
give
and
it
done.
up.
And his visit, he was there against what game was that? The Duke game.
Good game.
Y'all still celebrating those?
No, I'm just saying.
I mean those wins when Zion wasn't playing.
No. Cole Anthony
We
was
won,
there.
man.
Oh, okay.
You win when
We
you recruit.
still won the game.
All right.
Did y'all win when the game when Zion was there? No.
No, almost won them.
Almost only counts in horseshoes.
Y'all thought y'all was gonna win by 15 or 20.
No, we only knew we would win. Doesn't matter what you win by. We
Barely won.
We knew we would win.
Barely
What
won.
upperclassmen y'all got on y'all team?
Upperclassmen?
Yeah.
You mean like juniors and seniors?
Yeah.
Jack White, Marquise Bolden, Javin DeLoria.
Oh,
That's the one thing that I think is gonna like. It could be an Achilles heel because like that year y'all won with John and all them. Quinn Cook was a 4-year senior. He knew how to control the team. Like right now, like looking at the team, like when it
You named one player.
what
Quinn saved them.
Quinn Cook was a senior and he was y'all point guard. He controlled the
Quinn-
tempo.
He wasn't the point guard.
Who was
Be
point
respectful. Tyus Jones.
Quinn Cook saved
He
them.
handled the ball. They both
Quinn Cook
shared
saved
ball
them.
handling
Quinn
responsibility.
Cook was the best player on the team on nights. Best player on the team on nights.
Like
Many
right
nights actually.
Like you compare that to the Duke team right now, like if y'all get in a situation where y'all need to be settled, like I don't like who is going to be that veteran, that leader to settle y'all down. That's why I say you just said it earlier, a lot of these teams have those upperclassmen with the leadership, with the experience. Y'all don't have that.
I don't. Yeah, a lot of teams have it. Do you need it to?
Yes, you need
to
it.
win.
You need it at times.
I think at times, yeah.
That's
But I don't think
we
Duke.
saw. We saw it. Like
I don't think Duke. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think Duke gonna run into anybody until the national championship game that's gonna really like challenge them in that way. I don't. They got the best player in the nation. The best player in the nation.
They do.
And he is the best player by far, and he brings it on the most important part of the floor, the defensive end. Like he brings it every night.
It's still for the players.
I understand that he brings it every night on defense.
yeah, it doesn't mean anything. You need 4 of the guys in the tournament.
Okay,
You need 4 of the guys in the tournament.
I hear that.
We talk so much about Melo, but we don't talk about the other guys that they had on that Syracuse team.
McNamara.
They had some
Keith
ballers on
Ward.
that team. They had ballers on that team. Like, they were ballers. Like, he was protected by ballers. Same thing with
McNamara, what
Anthony
year-
Davis and them had upperclassmen on their team, too. We were talking about that. Me and you were talking about that the other day, Will. They had a few upperclassmen on their team, too, to protect them. I don't know if those Duke guys have.
That doesn't. Duke got all the talent to win the whole thing, but it's gonna be times in the game. Like I said, you gonna need your guards. Gonna have to they're gonna have to grow up. Either they gonna grow up in the tournament.
Trey
or,
Jones is not a slouch, brother.
Dude,
We didn't
Not
say
a
he was
slouch.
slouch.
I never said he was a slouch.
Did you watch them when they played North Carolina in the ACC tournament?
But never been
It's
in this situation.
it's a different like Zion Williamson is that impactful of a player. He has that presence on the court as a player where he just settles everybody. Like if you go back and watch both of those North Carolina games without Zion Williamson and just watch the North Carolina game with Zion Williamson and pay attention to Trey Jones, he's a completely different player. He defends differently. He plays offense differently. Like he gambled more in the North Carolina game with Zion Williamson. He gambled more. He gambled more with Kobe White. He was pushing up on him earlier, picking him up sooner. He wasn't worried about getting beat off the dribble. None of that. He was a different player. If you go ahead and even watch the championship game they played Florida State, Trey Jones was the settling factor for them. They were getting blown out in the first half. Trey Jones had the most points. I mean, yeah, he had the second. No, he scored 18. Zion, I think, had 19. So he had the second most points. But Trey Jones was the settling factor. When they were getting rattled, Trey Jones was making the right play. And Jay Billis was saying it all the time. Look how controlled Trey is. Look how low he's playing to the ground. Low man always wins. That was Trey. Like Zion has that presence because you do have that guy, that big man that's rolling to the basket that is, I ain't gonna say he's unstoppable, but ain't nobody figured out how to stop him yet from getting to the basket. So Trey is able to play a little more with confidence, a little more loose. And then my thing is on the defensive end, that's where Duke gets better. Like players players are gambling. They're not as worried about getting beat off the dribble, and that has an impact on the game. That does.
No, that's what I'm saying. Trey Jones is gonna have to be that, you know what I'm saying, that guy. But like you say, Zion's a calming factor. I hear what you're saying. I understand it. That it had nothing to do with R.J. Barrett at that free throw line missing 2 free throws.
Listen, you ain't got to tell me about R.J. Barrett.
And he's gonna have the ball in his hand in critical stages in the NCAA tournament. So
I wish there was a trade deadline.
It ain't, brother.
The college basketball.
It ain't. So he's the one player that I think, like, you're right, Trey Jones, but he's the one player, though, because they can't do it all, just them two. You know what I'm saying? Like, R.J. Barrett has got to be that guy to, like, he can't have these bonehead plays. He can't go and play hero ball when y'all got Zion down there on the block. You can run a pick and roll. Like,
he can't be like he was against Gonzaga. That's basically what you're saying.
Dude, that is y'all Achilles heel.
I agree.
Bottom line, they're going to need some upperclassmen to continue to step up. Like, we can talk all day about Zion. We can talk all day about Trey Jones. We can talk all day about R.J. Barrett. But bottom line is, these guys have never been here before. They've never been here before. We talk so much about leadership, veterans. I just don't know who's going to be that veteran for Duke to step up. And I'm going to continue to say this. So when it happens, I don't want anybody to be confused or shocked by it. But Zion's going to have an off game. It is what it is. He's going to have an off game. First of all, he's not that good of a shooter, all right, to continue to shoot 80, 90, 70% from the field. So he's going to have an off game where he's going to shoot 40, 45, 30, 35 maybe percent from the field. Can you win that game? Can you win that game? Like, it's going to happen. I'm letting everybody know right now. It's going to happen. All right? Can you win that game? And who's going to win you that game? Can it be Trey Jones? It's probably not going to be Trey Jones or R.J. Barrett. It's going to have to be another guy. It's going to have to be an upperclassman, and point blank period. Even their upperclassmen haven't been here before. Like, their upperclassmen haven't played in big games up until this year. Like, so it's gonna have to be an unsung hero who's gonna have to win that game for them, because Zion is gonna have that game. Don't be shocked by it. It's gonna happen. I'm telling you right now. You can put all that best player in the world stuff all you want, best player in the NCAA all you want, but every good player in the NCAA has a bad game. Melo had it too. Melo had it in the Elite Eight. He played very bad in that Elite Eight game. He shot like 35%. But they had Hakeem Warwick. They had McNamara. I think that was the game McNamara hit like 6 threes. Like,
McNamara and Hakeem Warwick were both freshmen.
Yeah, but McNamara like got them to the next level. Like, and then they also had who was their upperclassman that they had in that team?
That roster.
I had to look at the roster. But they had an upperclassman in their team. They had one upper class guy who got them. I think it was their shooting guard actually. But yeah, I mean that's what it's gonna take.
The only way Zion Williamson shoots under 50% of any game is if he settles for jump shots. And he's not settling for a jump shot.
You say that.
He's not. Zion Williamson is not settling
Hey, you
for
say
a
that.
jump
I've seen it before. I've seen it happen time and time again. Like, this is a lot of games. This is 1, 2, 3,
6
4, 6 games. And you're gonna say that he's gonna shoot 60% from the field in all 6 games?
I'm saying the only way he shoots under 50% is if he settles for jump shots.
Don't be shocked when it happens.
He's not going to settle
I'll
for
let
jump
you know that
shots.
right now. Don't be shocked when it happens.
He barely takes a jump shot when he's wide open.
Don't be shocked when it happens.
You think he gonna settle for a jump shot on a bigger stage?
I'm telling you, don't be shocked when it happens.
Blue chips.
Somebody definitely go out to pay him to do that.
Don't be shocked. Hey, don't be shocked.
He
Happens to
really
every
gonna
great
be
player.
point shading
Happens to
that.
every great player, though. Every great player.
This is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. This is gonna be real good. Let's switch gears. Hey, don't forget though, the link. We've been posting the link. Go ahead, join our bracket challenge. See if you got what it takes.
Damn, we just talked about that for an hour?
See if you got what it takes. Alright. Let's go ahead and it's GOAT talk time. It's on A Will this week.
It's my turn.
Yeah, let's hear what you got, man.
All right, here we go.
Let's get it together.
What's the day? The 19th. I think baseball starts in about 5 days, 6 days. The season starts, so I'm gonna give y'all a little baseball. Okay, here we go. Player 1 has a career record of 355 wins, 227 losses. They have a career ERA of 3.16. They have 109 complete games. They have 35 shutouts. They have 3,371 strikeouts, 999 walks. They have 4 Cy Youngs. They're an 8-time All-Star. They're a 4-time ERA title champ. And they won a World Series. And they have 18 Golden Gloves. Player number 2 has 219 wins, 100 losses. They have a career ERA of 2.93, 46 complete games, 17 shutouts, 3,154 strikeouts, 760 walks, 3 Cy Youngs, 8-time All-Star, an All-Star MVP, 5-time ERA titles, Triple Crown, and they are also a 1-time champion. And they're both Hall of Famers.
You want Randy Johnson?
No.
No, Randy Johnson.
That first one you said it was an 8-time.
8-time All-Star.
How many times Cy Young?
4-time Cy Young.
How many strikeouts?
3,371.
Can't be. When you would pick Rocket Clemens.
It's not Roger.
Can't be Rocket.
He's on the roids.
Exactly. That's why I figured it
What era was this picture?
They both was actually in the same
No,
era.
I know who the first one is.
Pedro Martinez.
No.
No, it's Greg Maddux.
Yes.
Okay.
Kurt Schilling.
No.
Damn, Don Grace.
What was the
Smoltz, the second one?
No.
what was the stats for the second one again?
8-time All-Star,
Okay.
All-Star Game MVP, 3-time Cy Young winner, Triple Crown, champion, won 3 Cy Youngs, 5 ERA titles, 2.93 ERA, 17 shutouts, 3,154 strikeouts, 760 walks, 219 wins and 100 losses.
200 losses?
100 losses.
Southpaw or the right hand?
He was a right hand.
I know.
Who is it?
Pedro.
Yeah.
Okay.
I said
You did say Pedro.
You said Pedro, but you said player 1. Player 1 wasn't Pedro.
Okay.
Pedro won one. Pedro was great.
Player 1 wasn't Pedro. I never said Pedro wasn't one of them. He
I
just
know.
wasn't player 1.
I know who player 1 was because of Golden Gloves.
I know Greg Maddux had all the Golden Gloves. I just had to make sure it was him.
Okay, so
So you got Pedro versus Greg. Pedro versus Greg.
Pedro and 1 3 sign.
I don't even want to go with the eye test because I know who I would pick on the eye test, but that don't mean shit.
Greg Maddux was like the best fielding pitcher of all time.
And Greg Maddux was a pitcher.
And
Like he didn't have
the speed,
yeah, he was a pitcher.
like paint the corner
Yes.
with the changeup,
Yes.
with the fastball.
Yes.
Hey, location.
Greg Maddux never had
Location.
nothing nasty. He had no movement.
Yeah, he kept hitters like off
Balance.
way off balance.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, but Pedro had that fuck.
That gas! Get the gas!
Hey, Pedro had that reach back. You feel me?
Get the gas!
Hey, Pedro had that reach back.
But when he lost it, he lost it.
Hey,
Ooh,
When he
I would
lost it,
say,
he
and
lost
Maddox was able to age well
Yes,
with his
he did.
pitching, man.
And Maddux was
He was a locator pitcher.
Maddux was the best pitcher when they had him, Glavine, and
Yeah,
Smoltz.
he was they. Yeah,
He was their best pitcher.
Yeah.
I still go with Pedro.
Ah,
You saying that with too much ease.
I'm gonna have to go with Greg. He was a pitcher's pitcher, man.
We don't have enough Greg Maddux in MLB right now. We got a lot more Pedros.
I don't think you ever have any.
I mean, dude, like he.
Well, I'm being serious. We have way more Pedros than we have Greg Maddux, and that's no slight at Pedro.
Yeah.
Like Pedro was
A dog.
a dog in his heyday, but when he lost his velocity, Pedro, he wasn't.
Oh man, I'm gonna go back on.
He wasn't. You know.
Y'all said something that kind of caught my attention.
18-time Gold Glove winner.
18 times.
Dude.
I gotta-
18 times.
Yeah, he was nasty with the glove too.
Dude.
18 times.
18 times, bro.
I guarantee you, 90% of the people living could walk past him right now and wouldn't even know who he was.
Who,
Oh,
Greg Maddux?
yeah.
Oh, he don't look like nothing.
He looked like he'd be on the office or something like that.
You feel me?
But yeah, I would have to
Hold
go.
on, y'all said something that caught my attention. I gotta go back to.
Dude, he was a. Let me go on Pedro, man.
Pedro had more than fastball though. He just had the best pitch.
Bad BK. Listen.
But you knew when Maddox was out there, he wasn't walking people. Like,
Ain't Pedro a champion?
They both champions.
They both
I
champions.
said one of them champion.
No, both of them champions.
Yeah, the Braves.
Atlanta won in '95.
Braves had the best starting pitchers in damn near the history.
Yeah, in the '90s.
Yeah.
Pedro was dog.
When they
You can
had
put those three.
yeah,
you can
Glavine.
put those three against anybody.
Man, listen, Glavine, Smoltz, and Greg, brother, it was tough.
Shout out Marvin Freeman in the
Oh, that
coming
was
from the bullpen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Shout out Marvin Freeman.
Somebody asked me about him at work the other day
Yeah.
too. I forgot who asked me. They was like,
Yeah.
"Who was the coach at Central? His name?
Starlin
His name was."
Marvin.
But look, they first they was like, "Who the coach at?" And I'm like, "Starlin." They like, "No, the dude that went to he played in the majors." I'm like, "Freeman? I can't think of his name."
Yeah.
I was gonna text you, but it slipped my mind.
Marvin
'Cause I was
Freeman.
really trying to think of what his name was.
Dude. He threw hard. He threw at us in a couple practices.
Mm.
Man, they had Mark Wohlers as their
Closer?
closer.
They was dude. Dion was on the team.
Deion was on that team. Yes, he was.
Crime Dog Fred McGriff.
What the hell was you gonna do with this team?
Wasn't Ken? Nah, was Kenny Lofton?
You couldn't hit him.
Nah, he was on the Indy. Nah.
Kenny Lofton
Was
was
on
on
the
the
Indians.
Indians. He was on the Indians.
They
Yeah.
had Pendleton.
Yeah,
Cool.
Chris,
Terry Pendleton.
Triple Jones?
Chipper Jones.
Chipper Jones was their third baseman. Yes, he was.
Triple J.
Dude, the Braves was.
Marquise Grissom was their center fielder.
Ah, there we go. Yep.
They had David Justice,
Oh.
They did.
Hey.
Fred McGriff.
What? Yeah.
That was nice. Hmm.
Man, look.
All right, everybody like the.
Like that though. 'Cause Pedro. They like complete two different pitchers.
All right, so I got this to say. If the lockout never happens, does Pedro have 2 rings?
What year was the lockout?
The lockout was in like 93. Had to have been 93.
Expos they were pretty dynamite that team. He was on that team.
They was nice that year?
Was they nice?
What year was the lockout? 95?
Because he was with the Expos in 94 to 97. Was 8.
I mean, but his best year with the Expos was 97. He had a 1.90 ERA, 13 complete games.
I'm a firm believer.
94, 95.
Got 94, 95.
Mm-hmm.
What was their record? Because I'm a firm believer that the Chicago White Sox would have won every
I'm gonna say nah, they wouldn't have won.
I think the White Sox was going to win everything that year
Yeah,
if that lockout did not happen.
yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Ray.
Dude, that was the best team the White Sox might have ever had,
Yeah,
including the World Series team that won in 05.
67 and 47.
Like,
The Expos were 74 and 40. With a better record than the White Sox.
yeah, but I mean, your question is, would he have another ring?
Would he have another ring?
I'm gonna say no, man. I think that was the White Sox here.
Would that make a difference?
Would it make a difference on who I'm picking?
In this
No.
what we're talking about.
No,
Not for me. It wouldn't.
not at all. Because I think too much, like in baseball, too much has to happen for you. I mean, like, okay, so look at it like this, right? The Braves, they had probably the best 3 starting pitchers on the team.
This team was nasty.
Like at one time, right?
Yeah.
With Maddox, Gladden, and Smoltz,
Right?
and they only won 1 ring. And then I started thinking of other teams like the Diamondbacks, they had Randy Johnson and Kirk Schilling, which was a dominant 1-2 punch. They only won 1 ring. Like it's hard. Like in baseball, it is hard to win championships.
Pedro was 11 and 5 this year with 142 strikeouts, 45 bases on the ball, 3.42 ERA, 24 games. This team was nasty though. Larry Walker, Moises Alou, Marquise Grissom, Will Cordero.
Okay.
This team was nasty too. Cliff Lloyd.
Yeah.
Like this team was pretty nasty too.
Pedro probably wasn't even their best pitcher that year.
Second best. Ken Hill was their best, 16 and 5.
I'm still going White Sox. That is nasty.
He had like 60 more strikeouts though.
Who, Pedro?
Yeah, than their best pitcher. Well, he had their best record. He was 16 and 5.
They both had the same amount of losses. It's just that Ken Hill had 5 more wins.
I just got mad again thinking about that lockout. Y'all bringing up a lot of bad memories.
Yes, man.
And White Sox was supposed to win that year, bro.
John Wetland was their closer.
Dude, White Sox supposed to win that year, bro.
That would. If they would have played each other, that would have been a great series.
Dude, they were supposed to win that year. They got
But
robbed, bro.
just check this. At age 41, Greg Maddox had 104 strikeouts.
What team was he on?
The Padres.
Yeah, I was gonna say no. He didn't aim with the Cubs.
He was on the Padres. He had 104 strikeouts. Just check that. Like, that's crazy. At 41,
Yeah, that's nice.
Location.
at 41,
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Greg.
I mean, look at this. At 38, he had 151 strikeouts.
At their peak, who would you take?
Greg.
Give me Pedro.
You give me Greg.
Give me Pedro.
At their peak,
One
Give me-
year.
Give me Greg. man.
1 year. Give me Pedro. I will always take the gas.
What would you say was Pedro's best year?
yeah, so you don't know.
Yeah, that's another. One.
I mean, dude.
Hard to find a guy that can throw that 99-mile fastball, man. $1 too many dollars back then.
I mean, look. All right, so just check this. 95. I'm gonna say 95 was Greg's best year. The man went 19 and 2, 1.63 ERA.
Top ERA is nasty.
He
bro.
had 10 complete games, 3 shutouts. The man had 181 strikeouts.
In '99, Pedro went 23-4, 2.07 ERA. He had
Struck out 313 people.
313 people with 37 walks.
Yeah.
What was his? Wait, yeah. How many walks?
37.
ERA was 2.07.
Greg had 23 walks. He had 7.87 strikeouts per walk that year.
If I had to choose,
Like just think of that. Just think of that. That man had for every damn near 8 batters he faced.
Then he followed it up. Hold on, but then Pedro followed up with a 1.74 ERA.
the next year,
The next year with 284 strikeouts and 32 walks.
if I had to pick one, just like prime, like I would take Pedro.
A 1 year deal.
Like
Pedro.
this was just like 1 year in they prime. Like who would I take? I would go Pedro. It ain't by like a lot, but I would go Pedro.
I'm taking Greg.
I'm a longevity guy, so in the career wise, I'm taking Greg. But a 1 year deal, give me Pedro.
Like I tell people, like with boxing, all the time I tell people, like, hey, if I could take one fighter in they prime, dude, I'm taking Mike Tyson.
I'm taking Greg, man. He gonna keep you off balance, man. You don't know what he throwing.
Yeah, but one thing about a
One,
fight,
and then one game, like I mean, the whole year. Yeah.
if you got gas, bro, they can know what's coming. The catcher gonna put that
Oh,
one
yeah.
finger down and look,
If it's coming, it's coming.
hey, you swinging in the wind.
But think about it. If you get it,
Yeah,
if you get it,
they wasn't getting it though.
man,
That's the thing.
you
No,
get it.
they was. They damn sure wasn't getting it.
Dude, this
If you get it,
That was the year they won it too, wasn't it?
that 23.
won in
no.
04.
It was 99 when he had the 23 and 4.
Yeah.
yeah, nah, they won in 04.
04, that was a down year.
Yeah. He definitely wasn't one of their best pitchers in 04.
Yeah,
16-9.
yeah, 3.9 ERA.
Cause they had Schilling.
Still had 227 strikeouts.
Yeah.
His walks were kind of high that year.
Who else was on that? Who else was a pitcher on that team? They had another dude. I can't think of his name. The dude was big dude, the big pitcher.
Tim Wakefield.
He might have.
Talking about Bartolo?
No, the big dude that
Pitcher?
bald head. Yeah, big dude. He's bald head.
Big dude, ball head.
David Wells, I think, was on that team. Was a pitcher on that team?
What year was that? 04?
04.
No, David Wells wasn't on this team.
He wasn't on the 04 team.
Wakefield, Derek Lowe. Keith Folk was their closer.
Derek Lowe.
Keith Folk.
Remember it was White Sox? Keith Folk.
Keith Folk.
Ah, yeah. Remember Derek Lowe? Yeah.
Derek Lowe was pretty decent.
Yeah. I like that one. Hey, man.
That was a good one. They had a pretty good pitching staff too. The records don't show it, but they definitely have some talent.
Hey, you know who had one of the best pitching staffs of all time, though?
Who?
For the playoffs? Pitching rotations? 05 White Sox.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Dude, 05 White Sox.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Burley, Garland, Garcia, El Duque. Dude, El Duque got out of that bases loaded jam against the Red Sox. Was it no outs?
No out.
It was no outs. Struck out. He got somebody to pop up. And he struck out 2 people?
Yep.
Dude. Damn, I wish the White Sox was good again. Shit, we gotta end this show, man. I'm getting upset, man.
Damn, I was doing
I would say it was good again, man. Damn, man.
It's gonna be a while for that.
Yeah.
Quite a while. This team was actually really good. The 04 Red Sox team.
Yeah.
This team was really good.
Johnny Damon, Manny, David Ortiz.
Come on, man.
Then they had Dustin Pedroia.
Veritek too.
Oh.
That was
Get some Veritek.
That was easy.
Yeah, this team was really
That
good.
was the year they came back 3-1.
Yep. That's the year.
Goddamn Yankees couldn't win one game.
Man,
I'm glad we bringing up some bad memories for you.
They couldn't.
About time, right?
About damn time, all right?
You know, ain't got too many. Ain't got too many.
God, dog. Speaking of baseball, Mike Trout. Let me read these numbers. I thought these was made up numbers. I thought it was a typo. I thought somebody was
What they do? What when you do that in the club? What they
Balling.
say?
Balling.
Balling.
12 years, $430 million US dollars. You hear me?
Yeah, my nigga.
US dollars.
M's. You feel me?
Bro,
M's.
bro,
Shout out his agent.
can't spend that money in 2 lifetimes, bro.
Shout out his agent. He a contract killer.
Bro,
The Angels had no choice, man.
they didn't.
They didn't have a choice.
Man, listen. You telling me they ain't have a choice with $430
They
million?
didn't have a choice.
Oh, they had a choice.
No, they didn't.
No, they had a choice.
Hey, you let
So they had
Trout.
a
You
choice.
let Trout hit the open market.
Oh, they had a choice.
Oh, yeah, Phillies were going to be all over him.
Hey,
Harper had already said, he was like, dude, we.
you ain't gonna never tell me spending $430 million ain't a choice.
Alright.
You ain't gonna never tell me that. You can't. You
The
can't,
Angels. Listen.
You ain't got enough money in the world to tell me that.
The Angels. The Angels ain't even good with Mike Trout. Could you imagine what they would look like without him?
And that's damn sure why they shouldn't have spent no $430 million.
It ain't his fault. The man, the MVP every year.
Hey, I'm just saying they have a choice. That's all I'm trying to say.
Bro, listen, you ain't good with it with him. Could you imagine what they look like without him?
Dude.
Yeah, bad, just like they do now. Yeah,
No,
and-
they
and-
wouldn't. They wouldn't look bad. They would be selling the team.
Well, they about to be selling the team after this $430 million.
Relocate.
I look like he got some good stake in the team with that.
That's $500 million.
Relocate.
It's talking about $500 million.
Call me
Relocate.
Billy.
Okay. They wouldn't have been the Anaheim Angels, the Los Angeles Angels. They would have been the Las Vegas Angels. Okay.
They just
You
made,
hear what I'm saying?
They just made the man's kids rich.
Hey, that's fine. They knew what they was doing.
That fine. No.
Okay.
What would y'all do if y'all signed a contract like that big?
430 million.
What's the first thing you do?
What he doing right now? Living in LA, on the beach.
Man, listen.
First thing you do, you sign like when you
Boy, listen.
and you put that pen down. What's the first thing you going to do right after that?
Man.
Right after you leave that building.
Am I in his shoes while I was already making 100 million? Or is this?
I mean, even if you making 100, but I mean, just what would you do? What would you do? First thing you do, you leave that building.
Bro, I don't even know.
That's so much money you like don't even like.
Bro, I don't know.
What you doing with it?
Upgrade my beach house
Upgrade
on the Pacific Ocean. Buy some more property.
Man, bro, like, I find money like that, bro.
What Boosie
This
say?
man gonna get wait. Before taxes, this man gonna make it $98,000
I just got chills.
a day.
A day?
I got
A
chills.
day.
A day.
90?
Before taxes, the man gonna make $98,000 a day.
That's 3 people's salaries in a year.
A
Dude,
day.
A day.
A day.
That's 3 people's salaries in a day. That's 3 people's salaries in a year in one day.
He could miss work.
Bro.
I miss work now. I got to be unpaid.
98?
You know there's gonna be rest days in there.
Damn.
Oh, he definitely rested.
But my thing is though, like I think people don't realize that he really only works 7 or 8 months out of the year. I mean, you can work out and but you can do 3-4 hour workouts and be done by 9 or 11 o'clock, depending on what time you start.
Dude.
If you're gonna work on your craft,
But baseball, like, it's not like football where you constantly moving. Basketball, like baseball, like,
practice every day.
dude, you can
I practice pretty much every day.
you can play a position. You can play a position and like,
They don't have too many off days.
I mean, dude, like, not every position in baseball gets action as much as, you know what I'm saying? Like, go a couple innings, you might not even get nothing hit to you in the outfield. You feel what I'm saying?
So let me ask a question. Is he worth
Hell
that
yeah.
much money?
Cut it out. Yes.
Is he worth it? Is he really worth it?
Yes. That's the best player in baseball.
Is any athlete worth that?
Yeah, if they bring in the money to that
So
organization.
listen.
I think
I am in complete. I see what you're saying, Five, and I'm in 100% agreement with you. I don't like. Okay, is Mike Trout the best player in baseball? Yes, but is any athlete worth almost $500 million? No.
I would say
No.
depending on what they bring in the organization.
No.
And
Like, think about it, man. Like, the man is the best player in baseball, right? And he has not once been to the playoffs.
Mhm.
Not once. Like, I see exactly what Five is saying. Like, if the Angels, was in kind of like I said about the Giants, they were in that lose-lose situation. Like, if the Angels didn't re-sign Trout, he more than likely was walking out of the door, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the Angels would be back in the dumps. Like, nobody would be talking about the Angels, whatever, right? But now they signed him to this contract. He's the highest paid player in baseball. He's the best player in baseball. But are the Angels going to win next year? Like, what pieces do they have around him? What are they going to put around him? Like, where does this put them financially for their future? Like, I get that part of it. But then to turn around, like, and even if you say, like, okay, it depends on everything you bring. Like, are the fans coming? Are the Angels selling out every game? Probably not, because they're not winning. Are people traveling to see the Angels play? Probably not, because they're not winning. Like, so I don't think one player is worth $430 million.
That's a lot of bread.
But if you telling me that you're giving $430 million to the best player in baseball, so I'll say it this way. Should the best be paid the most? Yes. But I think that says how many bad contracts there probably are in sports where we have to overpay our best players. Like, to be honest with you, LeBron is probably still the best player in basketball, right? LeBron ain't even the highest paid player in basketball. He's not. So but even for LeBron to be the highest paid player in basketball, he would have to make $50 million a year. Is LeBron worth $50 million a year?
You asked me that question?
Yeah.
That's what I saw this year.
No. That's why. I mean, so look. Who would you say the second best player in basketball is?
Still gonna say KD.
Okay, is KD worth $50 million a year?
No. I don't think $50 million a year.
I mean, what are we like comparing that like?
Think
Like,
about it,
John.
think about it. John Wall next year, I believe, is going to make like $40 million.
42.
$42 million. John Wall is going to make $42 million
If
next year.
John Wall can make
Right.
$42 million, I think KD could be.
But is he? I'm not saying could he make it. I'm saying is KD worth $50 million a year?
I'm gonna say yeah, man. I'm gonna say yeah.
Five. What you think?
I'm gonna say yeah.
I'm gonna say not a chance in the world.
Like, think about it.
Wait. How much was that Jordan got paid? That one was like 38 mil.
I think the highest Jordan got paid was $36 million.
36 million.
36, the last
All of
one.
them. No, I take what I said back. No.
But, I mean, times change.
But I feel like I feel like the money though. I feel like they have more money to overpay.
I get that,
Yeah,
but that's
the
why
players are worth it.
That don't
Yeah,
mean
that don't mean the players
So
are
if they
worth it.
bringing you championships.
Bro, think about it. Think about
So
it.
what does it take for them to be worth? What would it take for like a Kevin Durant to be worth to make $50 million?
So you're talking about a team. You're talking about teams who are probably making roughly around like the 300, 400 million mark. To pay one player like a fourth of that, like, is a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Like, that's a lot of money. Like, we're talking about an entire franchise. We're talking about the people who run the franchise, people who coach the franchise, people who help the other organizations of the franchise, management, arena development. God, let it don't be construction in the building. Like it's a lot of different avenues into like them making that money and who they're actually paying it out to. like on the revenue side. So you're telling me one dude is worth a fifth of that?
But then not
I
only
can't say that.
and then not only that, think about it. Like, what if Trout gets hurt?
Oh,
I keep
God.
saying that. Like, bro, there is still, and I'm not trying to put this in the atmosphere, but there is still a possibility. Like, what if Trout starts to decline?
Yeah, you know, those are facts. I mean, so look, all right.
Like, that is tough. Like,
Just like A-Rod. Just like A-Rod.
Oh my.
A-Rod's the perfect example.
And the crazy thing about it, A-Rod signed a lot of people don't know this. A-Rod signed 2 10-year deals for $270 million. 2 10-year deals for $270 million. He signed a deal. His first deal with Texas was 2 years, 270-something million. He opted out of that one, re-signed with the Yankees for 10 years again after he got traded to the Yankees for $270-something million. And he declined quick. They won 1 World Series with A-Rod. They paid that man, his last year with the Yankees, they paid that man $27 million to go home.
You know how bad he was?
They paid that man $27 million to go home.
Here's another thing, echoing off what A. Will just said. What if he declines? He's going to decline. He's 27 years old. He's going to be 39 when the deal's over.
No, but I'm just saying, what if he declined within the next 5 years?
Which can very much happen. He'll be 32, 33 years old. Like, it can very much happen.
And
like,
he's still
and
gonna
that's
be getting paid $30-something million a year?
for 7 more years until he's 39 years old. Like,
These teams got money though, man.
No, baseball just doesn't have a salary cap.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah. But I mean, look, bro. Look at this basketball, right? The Warriors are worth $3.5 billion.
Okay, I
That's
understand.
worth though. That's worth. That's something completely different.
Completely
We're
different.
talking about revenue. We're talking about revenue per year.
How much
Revenue per year.
money are the Warriors bringing in? Like that team. How much money is that team
You can be
bringing
worth all you want. How much money are you bringing in? I'm gonna say the Warriors are probably bringing in probably about 300 million. I'm guessing. I don't know. Curry making what? 40. Curry's making what? He'll be making what? $40 million? I think he's got to be around that mark.
Let's see.
He's the highest paid player in the league, right?
I don't even think he is.
Ain't that Mike Conley?
No.
It ain't after he signed that big deal.
No.
Curry this year is making $37 million. Next year he's
Oh, isn't it Westbrook?
Next year Curry's gonna
Got to
make
be 1 and 2.
next year Curry's gonna make $40 million.
$40 million.
So Curry won't even make more money than John Wall next year. Just imagine that. Like just picture that. Just picture that. Right? Y'all say who y'all say the other dude? Russell?
I'm looking it up right now.
So yeah, they met showing last year as far as revenue for Golden State, about $400 million.
Russell Westbrook this year is making $35 million. Next year he's gonna make $38 million.
So Curry is the highest paid player in the league. LeBron is second. Westbrook is third.
At 35 million?
Westbrook. So LeBron, Westbrook, and CP3 are making the same money, $35.7 million.
Yeah.
Blake Griffin is making $32 million. like you can't tell me that Blake Griffin and Chris Paul
On the same level.
are on the same level or worth that much to the franchises. Like, you can't tell me that. Like, you literally can't tell me that. Like, Blake Griffin played for the Detroit Pistons. I've watched probably the Detroit Pistons probably more than I should have in the last month.
Man don't even look to get a rebound.
I don't see him trying to grab a rebound, and I don't see the stands filled.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
So you paying my man's $35.7 million, and the stadium ain't even sold out.
come on, man.
So you're not even. So just imagine that, right? If your stadium isn't sold out, that not only does that mean that you're not even getting the people in your own city to come, but you're not getting fans from the opposite team to travel to your city. No way you're telling me Blake is worth $35 million.
Nah.
But again, if you're telling me that Blake, if you were sitting here saying Blake is a top 20 player in the league, he needs to be paid like a top 20 player in the league, I'm not gonna argue that. But that just shows you how many bad contracts we have in the game of basketball.
And you know what makes it worse? Sooner or later, we're gonna have a player come along that's gonna be better than Trout. Like, it's gonna happen. Like, it always does. Like, you're gonna have a player who comes along that's gonna surpass him in being the best player in basketball. So now, I mean, the best player in baseball. So, what you gonna pay him? 450, 500 million?
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. I mean,
That's what it's gonna come to.
So 2 years ago or a year ago, they was talking about Bryce Harper would be the first player to get a $400 million contract, right? He'd be the first 10 years, $400 million. He'd be the first player making $40 million a year. So to Five's point, let's say the shortstop prospect in San Diego, Tatis Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say he turns out to be a stud. Let's just say you give him $40 million a year. Could you imagine what that contract is going to be? Could you imagine if Trout? So look, it already seems to be that the standard is 10 to 13 years,
Right.
for these players in their mid to upper 20s, right? So if you can lock, let's say Tatis, I think he's like in his 23, 24.
Yeah.
I think he's like 23, 24. So let's say he has about 3 good years, and the Padres just like, man, we want to pair him and Manny together forever.
Mm.
You know, the length of Manny's contract, they're gonna have to sign him for at least 13 years. At least 13 years. And if he's better than Trout, he's gonna make $40 million.
I mean, players like Aaron Judge are gonna be up
Oh.
After this year.
Oh.
Like, Judge is a free agent after this year.
Oh my God. And the Yankees already have Stanton on a what?
What, 320?
Golly.
It's a good time to get into baseball. All right.
Like, it's gonna happen. Like, it's,
And then look, not even just Judge, Gary Sanchez too.
dude, Judge is making $684,000 this season.
Nah, he got raised. He got the arbitration thing.
So he'll get an arbitration.
Man,
I mean, it'll get raised a little bit. I mean,
Yeah, it's like 900,000.
oh, yeah, that's ridiculous. But you know what IT say? You know, back up the Brinks
they
truck,
gonna have
right?
to what?
They're gonna have to back up the Brinks truck,
What?
right?
I don't
Yeah.
even want to. I don't even want to see Judge's contract next year.
It's gonna be. I like it.
And you know the Yankees pay.
Yeah, I like it, man. I like it.
I think that's why the Yankees didn't go after Bryce or Manny, because they knew they was going to have to pay
Hey,
Judge.
Judge.
I like it, man.
Younger guy.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
they should go after him.
And
Even though he's not all that young, he's only 20. He's 26.
I mean, but still, look, Bryce is 26. No, Bryce is 27. Trout is 27. Manny is 26. Judge 26.
They all around the same age. So.
And then you got to think about the people behind him on New York. Like New York is gonna have decisions to make.
I like it, man. And then signing them to these long deals like baseball, man, like he could, I mean, if you sign somebody for 13 years, man, you're gonna have after let's say Bryce Harper plays all, what was it? How many years did he get? 13?
13.
So he plays all 13 years with them. Like, you're gonna be able to look at his numbers like with baseball, man, it's not like really you can play it for as long as you want. You know what I mean?
But
So he's gonna have stretches in those 13 years where, let's say, he's maybe below average, and then let's say as he gets older, he might have stretches it fluctuates, man. Like it fluctuates with baseball.
Yeah, but the fluctuation means that you're not worth the price of admission. Like, but since you signed a long-term deal, like, you're locked into it, so you're gonna make it, regardless of how you perform.
Yeah.
See, that's what I don't like.
But I don't think nobody's gonna be able to keep up that level for 13 years.
no, but see that, and maybe this is what Five is gonna say, and I'm gonna say it right. Why not just do a shorter deal with more money, right? Like, okay. To your point, you're saying they probably won't be able to consistently be this good for 13 years. But can Trout remain Mike Trout for the next 6 years? Probably so, right?
Yeah.
So why couldn't I sign Trout to a 6-year deal that pays him $35 million a year on average? Why couldn't I do that? I could, but I think a lot of so to your point, the culture in baseball is, hey, they play until they're, upper 30s, early 40s, a lot of these players. Mm-hmm. So if I got a player like Trout, let me just lock him in until he's 39. And then at that point, if he want to leave, go. I got everything out of him. I juiced him. Mm-hmm. I got every drop out of him. But my thing is, sign him to a shorter deal. Give him 6 years. Give him 7 years. Like, even think about it. When Robinson Cano left the Yankees, he left on a 10-year deal. Mm-hmm. Like, now he's toward the end of that deal, he probably ain't as good as he was 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. But if the Mariners would have signed him to a 5-year deal, and then he had to hit the open market, and they had to re-sign him, and there were other teams, then the Mariners would really be able to sit back and say, okay, you were here for 5 years, you were here for 6 years, this is what you did for us. Is it worth it?
I agree with everything you just said. I also want to bring up the point that it hurts both the players and the teams. Like, this is not just it gives the players some type of comfort. I'm going to be rich forever, the money's coming in regardless, of how I perform. But what if they get tired of losing? Like how A-Rod got tired of losing in Texas. Like, he was not happy with being there. Like, I think sometimes the players get caught up in the money. Mm-hmm. They don't think about their own personal happiness. Like, sometimes you may not be happy. Like, they may make a coaching change.
Yeah.
Like, in these a lot can change. Yeah. In 12 or 13 years in the franchise. Like, people could leave, coaches could leave, management could leave. Management can get fired. Yes. Coaches can get fired. Yes. Like, so much can change within those 12 or 13 years, and you give yourself no flexibility to be able to make your own personal self happy. Like, and some of these people have families too. Yes. Like, obviously, you're rich in LA. I mean, everything seems, peachy and gravy, but every situation ain't like that. Yeah. Let's swing over to Harper. Harper's in Philly. One of his family doesn't like Philly. One if they don't, he's gonna be there for 12 years, but maybe they don't like the city.
$100,000.
I don't think he would have signed it though if they wasn't though.
I mean, anybody can say that in the front, like in the front end.
Absolutely.
But what about 5 or 6 years in? Your kids are going to high school. Like, they don't want to be there. Your wife doesn't want to be there.
I'll say to sign a big contract like that, that's more than just his decision. Like, to me, that's like, okay, he's talked with his family.
It's an easy yes, though, Ray. It's an easy yes. When everybody sees all the zeros behind the number and they see all of that, like, yes, it's an easy yes.
But he's already been in Philly for how long?
Who?
Harper.
Never.
I mean, he was with
the Nationals.
For how long?
6, 7 years.
They didn't like Washington.
No, but so I'm gonna echo more on Five's point, right? Let's say Harper starts this year and is playing horrible the first 4 months of the year, and he starts to have regret on signing this contract, right? Like, where does he turn? Who does he go to? Like, let's say he's playing bad and the fans are booing him. Who does he turn to? Where does he go? Like, let's say 2 years, 3 years into the contract, nobody is coming to Philly to play with him. Phillies ain't winning still. Fans are bashing his name every day. Everybody is saying the Phillies made a bad deal. The Phillies made a bad deal. Where do the Phillies go? Like, where can you turn as a player and as an organization? Like, that's when it becomes tough. When the times is rough. And A-Rod said it the best. When he signed that big deal, he felt like he had to produce. And that's why he started taking steroids. He felt the pressure to produce. So he did it to produce, right? and they still weren't winning. Like, he did all that and they still weren't winning. And then to your point, you say he's had conversations with his family. Yeah, but if you were my cousin and you came to me and was like, hey, Will, White Sox thinking about offering me 13 years, 330 million. What you think? Bro, that's your decision. I'm with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't got to go play the games. I don't have to deal with the media. I don't have to deal with the press. I don't have to deal with the fans. I don't have to deal with ownership. There's no pressure on me. So yeah, I may voice my opinion, but at the end of the day, this comes down to you, and I'm gonna go wherever you say you're happy. It doesn't matter if I'm happy or not, cause to like Five will say, like Five said, your wife, your kids. Some of these players, their wife and kids don't go with them right away that first season. You always hear players talk about the adjustment and how they had to go back and forth, or they were away from their families, whatever the case may be. A lot of them don't buy into it like that. It's an adjustment for everybody. Some players don't want to move their kids, right? Like, they done been in this school system since birth. They don't want to move them. And that's it.
It can get sticky.
It can get sticky. I agree. At the same time, like with baseball, man, it's like you sign a 13-year deal, man. Bryce Harper brings Philly one ring. That contract, like it was worth it. He brings them one ring.
Yeah.
It could be his 11th season.
Yeah.
You bring baseball, you bring him one, you good. Like one ring.
That's true.
So it's not like a basketball where they got to go out there and win 3 expecting World Series off the bat, like with the White Sox. If the White Sox, if you look at when we had Frank Thomas for like from the 80s up until like up to the World Series, like dude, if we would have signed Frank Thomas to a 10, 12-year deal, I would have loved that.
Yeah.
I would have loved that.
Yeah, but those players weren't making the type of money that these players are making now. So like, this is a forefront. Like, when we will see baseball highlights, like Trout, Harper. What did Trout do today? What did Harper do today? All right. Did they live up to the contract that they signed? Like, that's what you're going to see time and time again. Like, a team could be the best team in the MLB and not lead off a sports segment.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Yeah.
Like, even now, like the Spurs are 9-1 in their last 10. And I guarantee you, if the LeBron segment against the Knicks led off any sports segment that you saw, like, that's just what happens. Like, nobody's gonna care about the other teams. They care about the people who are making the money, and who have the intention and who have that next great player tag on their backs. And these guys are great right now, and they're gonna be in the forefront. And I don't care if the ring comes 11 years from now. It could come with 10 years of turmoil. Like I get it. I get what you're saying. Like, in the long run, like if they win a ring in the 8th year in the contract, and 15 years from now, everybody's gonna be like, "Oh man, that was a great deal. You know, that was a great contract." But what happens the other 6 or 7 years that they struggle and they're bad and they're in the press negatively every single day? Because baseball is every single day, right?
But it also changes. Like, there are certain teams, like, within those 13 years, like, you just never know. Like, teams come out of the blue sometimes with baseball. And it's like, man, when did they get this good? Like, when did they start? You know what I mean? So, like, so much can happen that you can't predict in baseball compared to, like, a basketball or a football that we just don't know within these 13 years. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they could be a playoff team for half of it. They might not be a playoff team for half of it. They could have a year where they have like 2 or 3 good runs at it. They might win one. You know what I'm saying? Like, baseball is just so unpredictable that I think like with the 13 years, you have to have patience if you're a baseball fan. Like, you just have to. Like, he's there for 13 years. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, the man goes 0 for 5 in his first game at home in a home opener. What are you gonna boot a man? Like, you have to have patience. You have to.
Shit. Hey, Giancarlo came over. He got booed the entire first month with the Yankees. The entire first month. He was striking out left and right. He was getting booed every day. Booed. the Phillies is a baseball heavy town. Chicago is a baseball heavy town. New York is a baseball heavy town where their fans, they love baseball. And if they sign you to something, if you supposed to be the man, if you ain't producing, they gonna let you hear it, period. And Bryce better get ready for it, because the Phillies is gonna be on his back if he comes out the gates looking trash. I'm gonna be honest with you.
And I'm gonna be honest, I think they're gonna do just fine.
Who, the Phillies?
No, Harper and Trout. I think, like, as far as the contract, like them producing, like their off years are gonna be somebody's career years. Like I think they're gonna do just fine. I don't think you can live up to a contract that big. I don't care who you are. I don't think.
Then we
So
go back
then-
to the
so
point
then
where you're
we go back
never
to
worth
what
the money.
Yeah,
You're
you're never
never-
worth
I don't
the
mean
money.
you might be worth it to the organization though because of what you bring in for the
No,
organization.
you just said it. You just said it. You can never live up to that type of money. So you aren't worth the price of admission.
I get what you're saying, right? To the organization, they feel like they have to pay these players to bring these players in to have some sort of relevance. But at the end of the day, if you can turn around and say, but they'll never live up to that contract.
I mean, what?
You
Then
can't-
I gotta ask you, what's living up to the contract? Is it a 1 ring? Is it 2 ring? What are we labeling living up to the
I
contract?
mean, we need to be consistent contenders. Like,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You would at least have to be in the playoffs or battling for the playoff. Like you can't.
That's not on Harper though. This is baseball. You can only control what you can control.
But what I'm saying, and I'm gonna be real with you. What I'm saying is your impact on the game. Like, so I'm gonna go back to basketball, right? And I'm gonna go back to my LeBron James being the best player in basketball. Should he make the most, right? So should LeBron James be the highest paid? Yes. If LeBron James is the highest paid, I feel he should make $50 million a year, right? But we know, and until this year, LeBron James has been a staple in the playoffs and in the finals. That is living up to $50 million. Like, he may not win a championship every year because it takes a lot to win a championship. It's a team game, so on and so forth, right? But if we are consistently in the playoffs, if we are consistently in the finals 8 years in a row,
Right.
you are absolutely right. He was worth every penny that we gave him.
Baseball's
Absolutely.
different.
And I understand
It
it.
is.
But what I'm saying is, so now what I'm saying is Harper or Trout should be able to have that type of impact on the players in the clubhouse where they feel like, okay, we got to raise our game to the next level. I need to take extra at bats, on my off days or when we ain't playing, whatever the case may be. I need to get here early for batting practice. I need to do a little more film study. I need to be helping this guy so we can get where we need to be. That's the type of impact that you need to have.
it can't just be numbers.
It can't just be numbers.
I mean, yeah, I get you with that, but I mean, he can go out like it's only so much you can do in baseball.
I get that, but what I'm
So
saying
he can
is,
have great years, and they just not be good.
are the other players
He
around
can't make
him?
a third baseman better.
No, but are the other players around him attempting to produce?
I
That's
mean-
the question that I'm asking.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, if other guys aren't good, like you can't make a third baseman better, and you play right field.
No, you can't.
You see what I'm saying? So it's only so much you can control within a baseball game. Then like LeBron said it before, like basketball, dude, I can take the ball out of bounds, I can get the rebound, I can shoot the shot. Bryce Harper can't go out there and pitch.
Yeah, but you also can create good habits.
I mean, yeah, but like
That's
if
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
you can create good
the
habits.
Phillies pitching staff, it's not gonna have nothing to do with Bryce Harper.
No, but Bryce, but what I'm saying is, what me and Five are saying.
The
is,
intangibles.
yes,
Yeah.
I could bring that. Hey man, look, you're, and I never played the game.
He
of
can
baseball.
bring that, and they still be sorry.
But so let me ask you this: you play the game of baseball. I've never played the game of baseball. So if you see a pitcher struggling with command, or you see a
Right.
pitcher struggling with location, if you see a pitcher struggling with confidence, like, do you feel like as a center fielder, you can maybe have a talk with him and say, hey man, like put your arm around, hey man, I believe in you. You gotta have confidence in yourself. You know what I'm saying? Do a little more film study. Come in early. Work. You know what I'm saying? But then not only say that, but then you show that. Like,
Right.
I'm the best player on this team. Look at what time I'm here.
Yeah.
Look at how much work I'm putting in. those are things that people around may see and say, okay, Bryce doing it, why I can't do it?
I mean, no, I 110% agree with that.
I'm not saying it's gonna make you better, but it can.
It can. I mean, look, we look at Kobe, probably one of the hardest working athletes we've ever seen. Do you not think he was working just as hard and he was setting the tone for who was he playing with? Smush Parker and them bums. You don't think he was trying to elevate their game? Hey, if you sorry, you sorry. Like you can have the leadership, you can have all the intangibles.
But even Kobe said it on in interviews, like I went about it the wrong way, like with those guys. Like I went about it the wrong way. Like I was able to change my leadership approach when they got other guys, when they got the Sashas, when they got the Jordan Farmers, when they got the Lamar Odoms. Like I changed it up a little bit, and you saw a difference in the team. But that also came with coaching too, though. Like Phil's a little different coach.
Like that's another thing with the coach. Like it's like baseball is he can control his intangibles and that, but I mean there are 8 other positions that when the game is on the line, he can't control. Like he can control going up at bat, like, yo, I need to hit 290, I need to hit 300, I need to drive in 110, 115 RBIs, hit 40 home runs. That's him. You know what I'm saying? But outside of that, like on an individual aspect, he could live up to his contract. Maybe if he goes out there and like is setting records, but I mean, like, what if the team success ain't there?
That's what it's all about.
You know what I mean?
430 million.
Right. You know, like
I don't care
it's
about your intent. I care about your intangibles.
what is really living up to the
You
contract.
gotta
We're talking team success, individual success, a mixture of both.
I think you gotta have a mixture of both.
Hey, guess when we're gonna find out? Year 2032. Follow us on Twitter, Goodfellas87. Like us on Facebook. Don't forget the Goodfellas Bracket Challenge. We will be sending out that link before the locks. When did the game start? Is it Thursday?
Thursday.
Yes.
On Thursday. Instagram, Goodfellas Podcast. Go ahead and like us on there. Are we missing anything?
No.
Are we missing anything? I like that. I wish I could get paid that much though to like people talk about me, see if I'm making enough. What if we got paid money like that to a podcast?
I would be here right now.
I definitely
Like
listen.
to a podcast.
Yeah.
But
What?
I would be here right now.
hey, 20 mil episode.
But shit.
Speak that to the future. Man, y'all got any other shout outs?
No, I ain't got nothing.
5.
Shout out to Reverie, man. Show some
DJ Envy.
DJ Envy,
Yes.
man. DJ Commando, man. They showed us some love over the weekend, man. We had a ball St. Patrick's Day, Chicago. If you never experienced a St. Patrick's Day in Chicago, you ain't
You
from
should.
Chicago, bring your ass here. It's a great time. We had a ball this weekend.
And we got in there with the hats on.
Yeah.
Can't stop us.
Oh, man. Shout out to Paper Planes, man. I'm rocking my new joint. Man, you know. What up, Emery?
Hey, Booth, where you from?
Southside Connecticut, baby.
You
Nah,
from
like,
LA.
LA.
He's over there with Mike Trout.
Oh, yeah. Shout out D'Angelo Russell. He got me taking down Attorney right now on FanDuel. Check yours. It might be a little too late for you.
Oh, no. Oh, he done took me out of them. Yep, we gotta go. You done made me mad.
Shout out to D'Ange, man. What's up, man?
Alright.
LA for life.
Oh, Orlando this weekend. My sister's getting married on Saturday.
Yes.
My
Congratulations.
parents are already.
Congratulations.
My parents are in Georgia right now. So yeah, that's gonna be dope.
Getting it in there.
I ain't doing nothing but sleeping.
They had
Booth, you got a shout out?
They had follies,
No,
man.
no.
They can't be at
Booth, hey, Booth does not have a shout out.
Booth, Booth.
No.
What shout outs you got this?
None.
What Booth you shout out this week, man?
Man, I ain't got too many shout outs, man.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, shout out to the bottle girls.
Oh, okay. All right. So until next week, man. Y'all love, live life. We out, man. Jesus Christ. The man said.